All right, so Gearbox and Saber Interactive are being sold by none other than the Embracer Group. Surprise, surprise. They've been buying everyone and then selling everyone. So no one is surviving the gaming purge of 2024. No one is surviving this. I mean, maybe a couple people, but so far it looks like nobody's getting out of here alive. So basically, what happened is during the other great purge that was 2020, companies were able to get a lot of money somehow and buy a lot of things. Embracer Group was one of these companies, and they bought up a lot of studios, a lot of publishers, and well, now they're seeing that they're making no money and they have to sell everything. Or at least trim down the fat. So we're going to get into an article here about Gearbox first, and then we'll get into Saber Interactive, and then I might get into a little bit of the background of the Embracer Group, but that might be a video for tomorrow. So, according to this article here, so Gearbox is being sold by the Embracer Group too, along with Saber Interactive. So yesterday, Embracer Group joined this week's crazy news cycle by being subject of a report that stated it was selling Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake developer Saber Interactive. Well, now to add to this, Kotaku has reported that Gearbox is also being sold off by the Swedish gaming giant. So they're Swedish. Did not know that. Now I do. According to the report, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford held a meeting with developers early this week to talk about the studio's future, before adding that further information would be coming this March. As per what this will be, Gearbox was apparently set on one of three mindsets: staying with Embracer, being sold by Embracer, buying itself out and going independent once again. And judging by latest developments, the second option seems to have been settled on. And the second option was being sold by Embracer. Yes, little gaming studios being independent, I think, is it's very rare. I don't think a lot of people do it unless you're a small indie studio. If you're a bigger studio like Gearbox, you normally have to be with a bigger company. Like Bungie, for example, had when they left Microsoft, they had to go with a bigger company, like with a publisher like Activision, now Sony. It's very hard for these studios to survive on their own. So this all comes only a few years after Gearbox was acquired by Embracer, with the publishing giant forking out $1.3 billion for the American developer in early 2021 amid its massive acquisition spree, just buying up everything. Since then, Embracer has faced massive financial issues, shocker, most recently peaking when a deal with the Saudi Arabian investment fund fell through, a deal that was rumored to be worth around $2 billion. And I apologize for my coughing and my voice. I am sick right now. Embracer has yet to affirm or comment on this report of selling Gearbox, but Pitchford did share a statement with Kotaku, adding, "I'm honored and humbled that our company is a topic of rumor, speculation, and discussion. As always, we will be thrilled to share whenever we have projects to announce or news to share as we work hard towards our mission to entertain the world. What do you think of the what do you think the future holds for the Borderlands developer?" Um, so, Gearbox has often gone away from Borderlands in many cases. They try to make that uh, Overwatch clone, if you remember. I forget what it was called. It was back in 2016 and it released around Overwatch and got completely clobbered by Overwatch. And then they had to rush to make Borderlands 3. So, quickly, I'll get into the article about Saber Interactive. So, Embracer Group will reportedly sell Space Marine 2 studio Saber Interactive for $500 million. So it looks like they're just trying to get money back because they are running out. So Saber Interactive, which Embracer acquired in 2020, so a year before Gearbox, will continue to operate as a privately owned company. Hopefully, good luck with that. So a Bloomberg report says that Swedish holding company Embracer Group has reached a deal worth as much as $500 million to sell its Saber Interactive division to a group of private investors. The deal will make Saber Interactive a privately owned company, according to the report, with approximately 3,500 employees. Embracer bought Saber Interactive in 2020 at the height of its acquisition spree. It was made the fifth operating group under Embracer's corporate structure and currently serves as the parent of numerous other studios, including 4A Games, Asper. And if you remember, Asper is the company is the studio who is making Star Wars Battlefront. Go check my video about that. I'm very worried about that game. Also, Beamdog, New World Interactive, Slipgate Ironworks, and Tripwire. These studio names are insane. But Embracer ran into trouble in May of 2023 when an investment deal worth $2 billion, reportedly with Saudi Arabia's Savvy Games Group, fell through. Since then, the company has laid off hundreds of employees and closed multiple studios, in some cases, such as with Time Splitter studio Free Radical Design, after failing to find potential new owners. And Free Radical, they were working on Star Wars Battlefront 3 back when the original Battlefronts were coming out. While no specific studios were mentioned, Embracer CEO Lars Wingfors hinted that deals were in the works in its recent quarterly financial report. Embracer still has a few larger structured divestments processes ongoing that could strengthen our balance sheet and further reduce CapEx, capital expenditure. Wingfors said processes are in mature stages. And unfortunately, he also alluded to potential further layoffs at companies that end up being sold off. Certain companies might initiate restructuring before any divestment is announced. So, Embracer Group is embracing to lay off even more people in the near future, it looks like. Saber is currently working a couple of high-profile but seemingly struggling games like Knights of the Old Republic remake, which Bloomberg says is still in development despite a dearth of information on it since it was delayed indefinitely in 2022, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, which in November 2023 was pushed into the second half of 2024, a delay that could potentially be up to a year. Embracer is also reportedly looking to sell at least one other major studio, Gearbox, which it acquired in 2021 in a deal worth up to $1.3 billion. There's been no public movement on that front, but Kotaku reported earlier today that a sale is close to being finalized. It's not clear whether the Saber Interactive sale will include some or all of the studios it currently controls as part of Embracer, although the Bloomberg report says the deal includes an option for other studios to be a part of the sale. Embracer and Saber Interactive declined to comment. Well, I just realized today that Embracer is actually the company who bought THQ. They were called Nordic, and then I think THQ Nordic, and they developed Darksiders 3, I remember, and then they disappeared. I wondered where they went, but they just renamed as Embracer Group. So the people who bought THQ back in the day, that's where it all started for them. Yeah, so they're selling off a lot of major studios. I have a page on here, but there's too much information of how they started in the comic industry and how of all the games and studios that they own, and it is a lot. They just took over everything. Microsoft might have some competition now, but looks like they're selling off a lot of their major studios because they need the money right now. They had that deal with the Saudis go sideways, and now they are really struggling financially. So again, the gaming purge of 2024, nobody is getting out, not even Embracer, but I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure 5 years from now, a lot of these companies will be fine unless, with inflation and stuff, there's always financial trouble every single year for history, for all eternity. I don't think anybody's going anywhere. I don't think Microsoft, Sony, anyone. I don't think anyone is going anywhere, and certainly not Embracer Group for the size that they are. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. They could close their doors in a year from now. Who knows? Or tomorrow. I don't know. So Comment down below what you guys think. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I think that's the first time I've ever said that, and I said it pretty fluently, which is shocking. All right, well, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.